Started right away with presentations of the terrific kids. I think we're going to honor 20 today, is that right? Oh, they all got here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, we're going to honor all of them, even though one of them's missing. So, it is a great pleasure for me to introduce two excellent ladies from Miller School. Terry and I run into them every Friday when we volunteer out there. The first one I want to introduce is Amanda Henry. Amanda, would you stand up, please? She's going to help present the plaques today. She is an assistant principal, soon to be principal at Miami. I keep wanting to say the other. Okay, Miami Elementary School. And Christy Cree, who is the guidance counselor at Miller. So at this time, I'm going to turn the program over to Christy and let you do the presentations.
We'll see if I can clip this on. I'm pretty loud, so the microphone's not usually needed. Again, thank you for inviting us here. It's an honor to help present these terrific kid honors to these fantastic kids. And I had the opportunity to collect all the names, and each teacher who nominated the children that are here wrote a little information as to why that child was selected. And so I'm excited to share the information with you so you get to know these terrific kids a little bit better. We are going to call your name. When we call your name, the student will come up and get their plaque and their little goodie bag. And we would ask that if there is a family member here, come on up with them. We're going to get some pictures, and we'll make sure we get those pictures to you as soon as we get them back. So. Oh, I know, you guys are thinking, I don't want my picture taken, but this is going to be a memory you're going to want, and you'll look back on it someday, and you'll say, look how great I looked that day. You will. I look back at my pictures and think, I thought I looked bad then, or okay. Okay.
And we gather in front of this, and the parents or visitors that are with them, and then, as they hand the certificate to them, I'd like to take
You go over here.
with them.
See, I told you, Mr. Jim, we were going to change things. We're switching it up. All right, so if you would come up, and then he's going to get two pictures, one as a group, and then one with her handing the certificate. Okay? We will start off with our youngest students. We will start off with our kindergartners, and first up is Raina McManus. She's in Miss Carlson's class. Raina, can you come up with her? She's like, oh, I got to be first. Excellent. Let me tell you a little bit about Raina in the words of her teacher, Miss Carlson. Raina moved into our classroom in early January and has quickly adjusted to our routines. She knows when to work hard and when it's time to relax. Raina puts her best effort into her work and never gives up. She is an awesome friend to her classmates and is always helping out. Great job, Raina, and keep it up. Marquise Jones, if you could come on up. My friend Marquise. He is a kindergartner in Mrs. Hurleman's class, and Mrs. Hurleman has the following to say. I am nominating Marquise Jones as my Kiwanis Club terrific kid because he is the epitome of the word great. He always completes his homework, does his personal best in school, is an enthusiastic, attentive student, and is pleasant and kind to all students and staff. Marquise is not afraid to try new things and always wants to assist me in the classroom. Marquise has grown so much in the last 7.5 months that he's been in kindergarten, and I know he will continue to soar in his educational endeavors. For all these reasons, it is a privilege for me to nominate him for this prestigious award. Congratulations. Damian Dixon is our next terrific kid. Damian is a kindergartner in Mrs. Farrell's class. Well, of course it's not. Four bedrooms over there. Dead batteries? Okay. There you go. That works. Oh, you know what? It's, did you get it? The, yeah, this thing. All right. I will try to be louder. Not hard. Mrs. Farrell has the following to say. Damien is a terrific kid because he has shown leadership in our classroom through the example he sets for other students. He is very respectful to other students and teachers in our building. Damien works hard to show progress in his schoolwork and make sure others are getting help if they need it. Each student in our class is a friend to Damien as he is to them. Our class is so proud of him and is thankful for the example he has set for us. And he looks awesome in his bow tie. Oh, sure. All right. Oh, I'm back on. I'm hot. All right. Next is Emma McConville. Did I say that right? She is a kindergartner in Mrs. Claxton's class. Mrs. Claxton says Emma is a bright, outgoing young lady. She always has a positive attitude and work-hard mentality. She loves to help her fellow classmates out when needed. She encourages them to not give up and keep trying when they struggle. Emma is a friend to anyone who needs one. She gets excited for new activities and ideas. She encourages her classmates to try as well. Emma never seems to have a bad day. Her positive attitude and bubbly personality brighten the room and put her classmates at ease. The world needs more people like Emma because she just makes each day bright and sunny. We're going to start with our first grader, Caden Myers. Caden Myers is a member of Miss Halsema's first grade class, and she says, when asked to think of one student that is kind to everyone and respectful to all teachers, Caden's name came instantly to mind. He is always willing to hear others' stories and to share his own anecdotes. He works hard in class and wants to please others. He also holds true to his character when others make poor choices. He is an excellent student with a wonderful heart. The grace he shows others is outstanding and certainly makes him deserving of this recognition. Congratulations, Caden. Our student who is not here today is Heaven Hall, and she is a member of Mrs. Hensley's class. Mrs. Hensley says, I chose Heaven Hall for the Terrific Kid Award because she is simply a terrific kid. This year she has grown in so many areas. She has worked so hard on her reading that she has been able to move on to a faster reading group. Her math skills have grown as well. When we play a subtraction game called Around the World, other students know they'll have to say the answer really fast if they're competing against Heaven. She's been a good friend to so many of her classmates, always ready to lend a hand. We're very proud of you, Heaven, and I hope she's feeling better soon. Our next student is Lanaya Harmon. Lanaya is a first grader from Miss Howerton's class. Lanaya is a very responsible and respectful first grader. She is a terrific helper to not only her teacher, but her classmates. She is up for anything and always doing the right thing. She goes above and beyond what is asked of her. For this and many other reasons, I am proud to call her Room 107's terrific kid. Congratulations. I have something to do with that smile, too. I'm not sure. Avery Gray will be our next recipient. Avery Gray is in Miss Johnson's first grade class. Avery Gray sets a wonderful example for his peers at Miller Elementary School. He is curious about the world around him and truly enjoys learning. He always puts forth his best effort in learning and in making good choices. He is kind and often offers to help others. He is very respectful, too. Avery is certainly a terrific kid. Now we're moving on to second grade with Loretta Rausch. Loretta is a student in Miss Kuda's class. And Miss Kuda has to say, Loretta is a very hard worker who always does her best and doesn't give up. She always has a good attitude and has accomplished many great things this year. Loretta is kind and honest. She treats everyone around her with respect and can always be trusted to make the right choice. Thank you, Loretta, for being a wonderful student and friend. Jayla Bennett is our next student. Jayla is in Miss Trump's room. Miss Trump says, we have thoroughly enjoyed having Jayla in our class. Jayla is a great help in the classroom, and she often does what is needed without being asked. Her kindness and thoughtfulness is shown through her interactions with others. She is a wonderful friend. As her teacher, it has been a pleasure having her in class. I can always depend on Jayla to complete any task given to her with a good attitude. She is extremely responsible and conscientious. Jayla is a terrific kid. Jocelyn Van Deen is our next terrific kid. Mr. Jim pointed out that she's here in spite of him. He's worked with her in the past when she was in kindergarten, so apparently his bad influence didn't make too much of a dent.
This is her second time.
And this is her second, yes. We do have repeat winners. Jocelyn Van Deen is in Mrs. Seedsmith's class this year, and Mrs. Seedsmith says, my terrific kid is Jocelyn Van Deen. Jocelyn always tries to do her very best in the classroom. She is quick to follow directions, help her classmates when they need it, and is always respectful to those around her. Jocelyn is helpful, caring, and a hard worker. I have enjoyed having her in my class this year. She makes our classroom an enjoyable place to be. She is terrific in every sense of the word. Michaela Balser. Michaela would come up and give her own speech, I think, if I let her. Michaela is a member of Mrs. Fleury's second grade class, and Mrs. Fleury has to say the following. Michaela is a perfect example of a terrific kid. She is thoughtful to her teachers as well as to her peers. She comes to school enthusiastic about the day's events. She is respectful to others and often offers to help her teachers and other classmates. Michaela is friends with all of her classmates. Michaela displays a positive attitude in all aspects of school. She is a hard worker and she never gives up. She makes an effort to do her best in all subjects. Michaela is a terrific student and an asset to room 111. Shyness? That is not listed on here. There wasn't any mention of shy. Our final second grader is Adlemi Cruz. Adlemi is a member of Mrs. Roller's class, and she says the following. I have had the pleasure of having Adlemi in my class for the past 2 years. Mrs. Roller moved from first grade to second grade, and she got to keep her. There is not a day that Lemmy does not come in with a smile on her face and a positive attitude. She is helpful to myself and other students. Adlemi is the type of student you can count on to run errands, help out a struggling student, pass out papers, or play with someone who needs a friend. She never complains about what is asked of her and never stops smiling. You are awesome, Lemmy, and you will do great things. Now we're moving on to third graders with Abdullah Exxon. He is a member of Mrs. Banning's third grade class, and she says, I chose Abdullah Exxon for my terrific kid because he is an exemplary student. He works hard on his assignments and excels academically. He always tries to do what is right and to set a good example for his classmates, which isn't always an easy task. Abdullah displays good citizenship and is genuinely kind to his peers. The world needs kids like Abdullah Exxon. I am so proud of him. Keep up the great work. Next is Nautica Allen. Nautica is a student in Mrs. Filia's third grade. Mrs. Filia says, Nautica is a perfect example of what a Miller Mustang looks like. She is such a hard worker and is always working to get better at whatever challenge is thrown her way. She is an amazing friend and is constantly looking out for those around her who may need help or encouragement. She is a joy to teach and an all-around wonderful girl. Thank you for being such a significant member of our class. Taekwon Millsap is our next third grader. Taekwon is in Mrs. Summers' class this year. She says, Taekwon is a terrific kid. He works so hard in our third grade classroom and always wants to do his personal best. He is kind to other children and also a good role model in class. His positive attitude and willingness to help make him an outstanding member of our school. Way to go, Taekwon. Our final third grader is Kyler Spence. Kyler is representing Mrs. Clampett's class today, and she has the following to say. Kyler Spence is an excellent student and person. He works hard and is very bright. Kyler's mind works in such a creative way. He has an intriguing way of putting things, and he will often share unique, critical thoughts with the class. Even with other commitments, Kyler is very dedicated to school and hard work. What a great student. Congratulations. And now our fourth graders. Madison Adams is up first. Mrs. Jacobs is Madison's teacher, and she says, Madison is an outstanding student. She works very hard and always does whatever needs to be done to succeed. She is always there with a smile on her face and a willingness to help anyone that needs it. And when she helps, it's with humility. She is a strong role model for her peers. I have thoroughly enjoyed having her in class this year. Congratulations. Our next student is Samantha Diaz. Samantha is a member of Mrs. Johnson's class. And she says, Samantha is a conscientious young lady. She is always pushing herself to learn more. Samantha is a quiet leader who leads by example. She starts and ends each day with a smile on her face. Samantha makes the most of each and every minute. She is always kind and willing to help. I am thankful to have her in my class and am proud to have her as our class's terrific kid. And now Javon Williams. Javon is a member of Mrs. Wright's class.
This is that.
And she says, do you need any help, Mrs. Wright? Thank you for lunch. Have a nice evening. These are not the typical words one hears from a fourth grade young man, but from Javon Williams, you'll hear words of this nature nearly every day. It gives me great pleasure to recognize Javon for the Terrific Kids Award. Javon is a sensitive, caring young man with a heart of gold. Javon is almost always the first to raise his hand to answer questions and provide input into discussions. He is dependable and responsible. He positively encourages his peers through his kind words and actions. Javon is truly a terrific kid. Come from a place of love. Our last but certainly not least is Jordan Ratliff. You didn't think I forgot you, did you? Okay, good. Jordan was nominated by Mrs. Nagler. She says, I have had the pleasure of working with Jordan Ratliff for 2 years. He is a hardworking student with a can-do attitude. He is very helpful to everyone. He makes cards and notes for others for no special reason except to be kind. He is very compassionate towards others in the classroom. In addition, he takes initiative to organize materials in our room. You might need to come to my room. I am so blessed that I can work with him next year too. These are some of the reasons why Jordan is a very terrific kid. And on behalf of Miller Elementary, I would like to thank Mr. Jim and all the Kiwanis because this is such a great opportunity for all students, and I'm glad to hear that other schools are going to be able to take part in this too. This is a great opportunity, and we don't always get to recognize these kids for their hard work because as you heard, a lot of this stuff is stuff that kind of flies under the radar. But these kids are such an important part of what makes Miller what it is that we thank Kiwanis for giving us this opportunity to recognize them.
We're going to take a minute to exercise our singing once more. We all know the song.